good evening, everyone. It is the night we've all been waiting for after the first two contests. Well, let's just say they were exciting at the least. The Suns walked off against the Dogs last night, and Winter Park will be looking for revenge. I'm Bryce Kuhn alongside Ryan Murphy. Ryan and I were talking about before the broadcast, could this game be any more exciting? But Ryan, it's going to take a valiant effort from both of these clubs to try to somehow win a Game 3. I know they're exhausted at the end of the summer. First pitch is inside from Jack Walgast, 0-1-0.
And tonight, you got to believe that the championship is probably going to come down to the two pitching staffs. Who's got enough arms? Who can get a good start out of their first pitcher of the day to try to get ahead?
As Walgast pumps in a strike, he has been arguably the Dogs' best pitcher all season. If you look at his stat line, he does not qualify for the ERA title, but he .73 throughout the 2019 summer. Has him in the conversation for maybe a Cy Young Award winner, but we'll see what he can do here in a pivotal Game 3. As an off-speed to McNamara is in there, 1-2.
For the Suns, it's McNamara, Fornari, Townsend, Burke, Hutzel, Alonzo, Hilton, Dixon, Pregent to try to get their offense jump-started against Wolgast. They've only scored 4 runs in this series, but it's been enough to force Game 3.
As that one's outside, evening up the count 2-2. And Ryan, we've seen both teams struggle out of the gate. First 3-4 innings, both teams have been relatively quiet. Can we see a change today? Or will both pitching staffs settle in for a third straight night and shut down these offenses? As the 2-2 is going to be fouled off the handle of the bat. And you probably wish he had get that one. That was high and inside. 2-2 the count. Like we said, defensively for the Dogs, they are the home team tonight. Although we are at Melching Field here, home of the DeLand Suns. It's Reedy, Foytno, Meehan from left to right, and LaMarche, Carinci, Hebel, Beaker from third to first. As the 2-2 stays high, 3-2. And the batter tonight, Wolgast and Cabrera.
And this is a really nice first at-bat by Joe McNamara, making Wolgast throw a bunch of pitches. The Suns would love to chase him out of the game after 4 or 5 innings and get to the bullpen of the Dogs.
3-2, grounded right side, through for a base hit. So Joe McNamara gets the Suns started here. A little seeing eye single for the second baseman. And it's a leadoff base runner here for DeLand.
And it's going to sound like it's a homer thing to say, but I think tonight might prove that DeLand Suns have the best fan base in the Florida League.
Exactly.
With 3 or 4 hours notice, getting a pretty nice crowd on hand here tonight for Game 3 of the championship series. The Suns fans, again, everyone thought this game was in Sanford up until about 5:30 or so tonight, and with only about 3 hours notice, the Suns fans have turned out.
First pitch to Hunter Fornari is in there for a strike, and you're exactly right, Ryan. Good crowd here for the finale of the 2019 campaign, no matter what happens tonight. Next game we played next June. It's the Dogs and the Suns, the last two teams standing as McNamara leads off of first base. Fornari at the plate, 0-1 count to the Suns shortstop. Walgast checks the runner, kicks and fires. This one is low and in the dirt. Cabrera keeps it in front of him. It's 1-1.
And by virtue of the tradition of the Florida League, whoever wins this game will play the Sanford River Rats on night 1. That has been tradition in the Florida League that the defending league champion gets that spot in Sanford on opening night.
As Walgast is going to throw over. 1-1 count, and Walgast did appear 4 innings, and his only playoff outing was against Leesburg. Struck out 4, but struggled a bit. We'll see if he can rein it in and find that regular season performance. Strike swung on and missed. The throw down to second, and it's in time as Luis Cabrera nails Joe McNamara trying to nab second base, and that right there will be one gone and erase the leadoff single.
Yeah, it's a big throw behind the plate by Luis Cabrera, who has a case to be the MVP of this series if Winter Park wins tonight. Now the Suns will have to restart their offense with nobody on and a 1-2 count on Hunter Fornari.
So Walgast will deliver the 1-2 to Fornari. Swung on and missed. It's going to be dropped, so Cabrera will do diligence and throw down to Cole Beaker. It's well in time, and 2 quick outs here for the Dogs in the top of the first inning.
So now it's the heart of the Suns' order, beginning with the MVP candidate Mark Townsend, who really made his candidacy, had, if you will, his Heisman moment last night with 2 hits, including an RBI, and a clutch throw from left field to save a run that proved to be pivotal in a 3-2 ball game.
And one thing you got to love, after struggling in Game 1, he comes back out night 2 with his team's back against the wall and finds a way to get it done. This time he grounds over to first. Beaker will take it himself, And the Suns go down 1-2-3 as we head to the bottom of the first. It's championship baseball here on a Monday night from Melching Field as the Suns lead. Suns 0, Dawgs nothing. It's the bottom of the first here as the Dawgs will lead it off. It'll be Jason Foyno, Luke Reedy, and Cole Beaker to greet the right-hander Hudson Widrig as the first pitch is in there for strike number 1.
Hudson Widrig, a guy that does not throw the baseball hard, but he has good breaking stuff, and when he's able to hit his spots, he's very, very tough to hit.
And after a performance last night that saw the Suns throw about everyone they had, it's going to be a group of pitchers that are going to have to give their best effort for DeLand to clinch a championship, as that one is low and away 2-1. Jason Foyno leading it off. Guy with some speed, and see if he can get on and try to push it across here in the top of the first, or the bottom of the first inning, as that one's up and in 3-1.
Defensively for the Suns, and left to right, Townsend, Dixon, Alonzo in the outfield. Hutzel, Fornari, McNamara, Burke in the infield, with Pregent doing the catching.
That one will be a late called strike as that curveball catches the inside corner. Foyno will stride back to the plate, and it's a full count for the West Georgia center fielder.
Big here for the Suns after the 1-2-3 inning offensively to post a 0 of their own.
As this one skied to right field, Alan Alonso has a beat on it, and he will haul that in for out number 1. So they work the count. Foyno did a great job of that, being a leadoff hitter. But it results in out number 1. That'll bring up Luke Reedy.
Good start by Hudson Widrig, a guy that has had his struggles this season, but in his first 2 starts this season, including against these Diamond Dogs, he was one of the best strikeout guys in the Florida League. He faced Winter Park, 6 innings, no runs, 9 Ks.
Some performance will be much appreciated by this Suns pitching staff as the first one to Reedy as a curveball in there for strike number 1. Reedy, a guy who struggled with a heater. But this time he is able to get that one off the end of the bat. That'll loop into left field for a base hit. So Reedy on the board after a hitless performance last night. His 3rd hit of the postseason, and we have a 1-out single for the Dawgs.
Both teams with a hit in the first inning. DeLand's hit was erased on a caught stealing. We'll see what happens with Reedy at first base as we get into the heart of the order with red-hot Luis Cabrera standing on deck should the inning get to him.
Cabrera was a guy who came up in a clutch moment for the Dawgs last night, tying the game up, and came up in a similar situation later on. They might have been into the lead, but a big strikeout prevented that as Beaker fouls the first one off, 0-1.
Second year in a row that the Suns and Dawgs have gone to a Game 3, and second year in a row it's been right here at Melching Field. The series has been the reverse of last year. Last year it went Suns, Dawgs in the first 2 games. This year, Dawgs and Suns.
We'll see what the outcome holds tonight as Beaker grounds this one right side, but it's foul, and it's 0-2 to the first baseman who came into this series struggling. 0 for 8 in his first 8 plate appearances here in the postseason. Got off the monkey off his back a little bit last night, but would love a big performance from the Swarthmore first baseman tonight. He sees no balls and 2 strikes. Going to have to choke up here and find something to put in play. So Woodward checks the runner at first. That's Reedy. And Beaker will call time. And we talked about it before, Ryan. DeLand is going to have a lot of options to go to in the bullpen, but maybe not the number 1 options you would love to see. But it's going to be got a gutsy effort from this pitching staff for DeLand to get the job done. As the 0-2 to Beaker is swung on and missed. Good pitch there from Woodrick, as that's going to be out number 2 of the inning.
Yeah, Suns burned a lot of their top bullpen arms last night. Burned Connor Udell, burned Austin Wood, but you don't fault the Suns and Rick Hall for that. You had to win last night. You couldn't, oh, well, we're going to save this guy, save that guy. If you don't win, there is no tomorrow. So get here and see which pitchers can give you some big-time performances in this game. Last year, Game 3, it didn't take that. It took Jesus Valoy, the best pitcher in the league, throwing a 7-inning complete game. This year, Hudson Widrig is a good pitcher, but you're probably not going to see him throw 7 innings today. They're probably going to want to get 4 or 5 out of him and then bullpen the rest of the way.
As the first pitch to Cabrera is swung on and missed, Cabrera takes a big hack at that. 0-1. Meanwhile, the Dawgs, like we said, have the righty Wolgast on them. They're ace all season long. In the biggest game of the year, they're giving their best guy the ball. And Chuck Shaw and Jim Newland said, all right, man, it's your game. You're going to go as long as we need you to. And almost everyone available that the Dawgs would really want, they're available to pitch tonight. As the 0-1 to Cabrera is swung on and driven deep left field, heading towards the corner. It is going to be caught on the run. What a catch, slamming up against the wall. Mark Townsend goes head first into the wall, saves a run. And Ryan, if that's a sign of things to come, we're in for an exciting ball game.
Absolutely, and may I say it again? There's your MVP of the league, ladies and gentlemen.
He definitely is. Mark Townsend showing why he might just wrap up this MVP case tonight. We head to the top of the second inning. It's championship baseball. We're tied 0-0. It's the top of the second inning as Joe Burke will stride to the plate. He scored the winning run last night to get DeLand here. And like Ryan, you talked about it yesterday, the hottest hitter on this Suns team.
Yeah, he's been great through 3 games in the Florida League playoffs this summer.
His first pitch from Wolgast is up and in 1-0.
Should say through 4 games for the DeLand Suns. In 4 games, he's hitting .533, 8 of 15.
As Wolgast misses with a fastball outside. Burke did some damage yesterday, and like I said, Tim Dixon singled through the hole between short and third, and Burke motored around the bases and sent us to a game 3, which we stand tonight as Wolgast delivers a fastball that Burke comes up empty on. It's now 2-1. So we talked a little bit about Widrig, what he has to offer, Wolgast as well. A guy that's going to be asked to go as long as he can. As Burke sends this one through the left side. And there's a leadoff single, back-to-back innings where the Suns have had leadoff singles to begin the inning. As you recall, last time Cabrera nabbed, it was McNamara trying to steal second. Wouldn't expect Burke to do the same here, but Ryan, I would like to say this as well. Both teams showing a little more life offensively earlier in the game than they have in previous.
Joe Burke now hitting .563s, 9 of 16 in the playoffs, as he has been outstanding. And here comes a guy that's hitting 1,000 in the playoffs, Peter Hutzel. 2 for 2 with 2 singles, both in pinch hit opportunities.
He had a great at-bat last night as the first pitch from Wolgast is inside ball 1. He was down 2 strikes and then was able to just to flip the bat head out there and single into left field that extended the inning. It put Burke at second base and set up the walk-off hit for Tim Dixon. As Wolgast comes set once again. And 1-0 catches the outside corner, evening up 1-1.
One advantage the Suns have had here early on in the game is they are making Wolgast throw quite a few pitches. He hasn't had a lot of first and second pitch outs thus far. The Suns just slowly but surely driving his pitch count up, but they need to piece together hits to keep doing that.
This one's sent deep into foul territory off the left side. Hutzel, a guy with some pop in his bat. Use this big field to his advantage if he could hit a gap here. Burke stands at first after the leadoff single, and like Ryan said, they're working deeper and deeper into the count of Wolgast.
Just the 5th batter to come to the plate. This is the 20th pitch thrown by Wolgast.
To keep an eye on that and see if he's laboring here on what seems to be maybe a muggy night after we had some rain here in Central Florida as he throws over to first. Burke back in time. As he comes set at the belt and looks to deliver the 1-2. That one stays outside, evening up the count. Hutzel doing a great job here, like Ryan said, of making Wolgast work and making him throw strikes. Wolgast not a big strikeout guy, only 23 on the season through 24 2/3 pitch, but a guy that pitches to contact and usually has success. As there's strike 3 on the outside corner, Hutzel will see his 1,000 batting average take a bit of a dip, but Ryan, he's a guy that arguably should have been in the lineup the whole time.
Yeah, he's had a phenomenal regular season, more than an RBI per game on the season. A guy that might be an MVP candidate if he had played all season. He came near the end of June from Marshall University.
That'll bring Alan Alonso, the right fielder, speedy guy. And a guy who's a knack for getting on base as Alonso steps up with Burke at first and 1 gone here in the top of the 2nd inning. Watches that one low. Cabrera tries to snatch it up. It's 1-0. Alonso batting .250 this postseason. Just 4 hits for the Suns right fielder. That one was up and in, and Alonso ducks out of the way of that one, 2-0.
Between the beginning of the game and the end for Winter Park, between the start here from Wolgast and the end in Carullo, there's only 2 pitchers they've thrown in the playoffs that I think are eligible tonight. I think they can still go to James Holly, who only threw 39 2 nights ago, and you can go back to, as that one's fouled off, and you can go back as well to Jordan DeLucia. But what's the mindset of Jordan DeLucia after probably his most frustrating outing of the season where he's called for 5 balks? So those are the only 2 guys that have pitched in the playoffs that it can come back. Everybody else won't have pitched in a week, but still some quality arms that the Dawgs can go to.
Yeah, DeLucia with that frustrating outing in the win over Leesburg where, like Ryan said, 5 balks allowed a run without ever putting the ball in play. As this one's scorched to deep left field. Reedy on the run. Looks to be tracking it down as he will catch that one just shy of the warning track for out number 2. But Alonso put a charge into that one, but this field plays very big. And it's going to be out number 2.
Yeah, there are places in this league, cough, cough, Lake Mineola, cough, cough, that might have been a home run. In fact, that would have been a home run. But this is a ballpark where you got to hit the ball very, very well to hit a home run. As Brandon Hilton comes to the plate, this is a guy with all kinds of pop in his bat, but just has not gotten anything good to hit. He's 1 of 14 in the playoffs, but the coaches keep telling me this is a guy that if you make a mistake to, he's going to punish you.
A big bat from the left side as they throw over to keep the runner close at first. That's still Joe Burke, who led off the inning with a single. So 2 gone here in inning number 2. Back-to-back innings. DeLand has reached first with the first batter of the inning as he sends that one foul. Now a 1-1. Tim Dixon stands the on-deck circle. He was the hero of last night's game, and a big confidence booster for Dixon, who's batting in the lower part of that lineup, came through in a big way. His ground ball right side. Hebel will take his throw over to first, his Swarthmore teammate to Cole Beaker, and it is out number 3. So after the leadoff single, the Dogs get out of damage. Jack Wolgast does a good job of going a 1-2-3 right after that. We get to the bottom of the second inning, scoreless here in Melching Field. It'll be Cameron Meehan to lead it off here. In the bottom of the second inning as he watches the first pitch high from Woodring, 1-0. Meehan been a good addition to this Dogs team after spending most of the summer not picking up a bat. Started 7 for his first 14 and will look to continue his hot stretch as he watches that one outside, 2-0. Speedy guy in the middle of this lineup who can fly around the base pass. This is ripped down the third base line, but foul. Not a bad swing there from the Rollins Tar. It's 2-1.
Widger just needs to continue throwing strikes for the Suns. He's not a guy that's going to blow it past. The Suns last night threw a bunch of guys that were just trying to blow it past people. Guys like Chobin, who was in the 90s. Udell, who was 92, 93.
As Meehan tries to check his swing, home plate umpire rules he went 2-2. And I agree with you, Ryan. You see the guys that don't throw as hard, if you can learn to pitch, not throw, it changes your game completely. And if Woodard can accomplish that tonight, he'll be set up pretty well. As they go with the breaking stuff outside, full now, 3-2.
That's where Hudson Widger got a bunch of strikeouts early in the season, is he would throw stuff, started in, broke out of the zone, and he would get guys to chase. If you're able to hold off on that, you have a chance.
This one's hit high, fly ball right field. Alonzo tracking back, and he'll range under, make a nice running grab to right field. And I'll go ahead and say this is probably also, we've seen the balls hit more hard than they have all season, as both teams starting to see these pitchers after the first 2 games.
But this is a ballpark here in DeLand. You are much more willing to be a fly ball pitcher in this ballpark. We've talked a bit at times about how to recruit some of these teams. In this park, you'll take the guy that they let him hit the ball in the air a little bit because this park will hold it.
As Hebel watches that one outside, we've already seen a couple balls scorched to the outfield, but like we said, this field plays so big, contrary to other parks around the Florida League, as Woodard kicks and fires. This one stays outside, 2-0.
And that's part of the reason to recall going with Hudson Widrig, especially once the venue got changed, is a thought of, okay, bigger ballpark, they may hit him, but it's going to stay in the yard more. As long as he can avoid the shots to the gap, these outfielders can track things down.
As Hebel watches that 2-0 go outside, 3-0. The count to the Swarthmore second baseman, who was pushed into duty late July after an injury to Zeke Maldonado and Joe Butts. As he works the 4-pitch walk, so he'll head to first. Second base runner of the game for the Dogs, and once again, each inning a team has had a base runner on but has not been able to advance them past first base. It'll be up to Luis Lamarche and maybe Daniel Carinci to try to change things for the Dogs.
And for the second inning in a row, it comes with 1 out in the inning. Last inning, that runner stayed at first after a strikeout and a flyout.
Lamarche steps to the plate. A good afternoon yesterday for him. Unfortunately, in the loss for Winter Park, 2 hits, and was able to get around the base pass. Was nabbed scoring a potential tying run, though, late in the game, as the Suns' defense shined in that one, as this one stays low. It's 1-0 now. 5 straight balls thrown by the righty Widrig.
And there is action throwing, not from the mound yet, but getting loose in the Suns' bullpen. Looks like it might be Clay Allen.
Hebel leads off from first base in a scoreless championship game, winner take all. They throw back, he's in time, 1-0. It'll be all hands on deck for both squads. If you're available, you better be ready and get the spikes on quickly, as trying to win a championship here tonight as Hebel dekes like he's going, as Lamarche fouls this one, 1-1. Like Ryan said, you got to think of the mindset of Jordan DeLucia. Good late inning option. He hasn't pitched in a while, though. The Dogs, due to some of those rainouts, have not gotten a lot of in-game live pitching. How does that affect Winter Park against a good hitting team in DeLand in crucial moments? 1-1 stays outside. 2-1 now to count.
And the drawback to Winter Park, they used probably their 2 best extended options last night. They used Jalen Whitehead, and they used Tate Stone for Cena. So 2 guys that if anything happened to Wolgast, you don't have that guy that you could really trust to come into the third and take you to, say, the 7th or 8th.
So they're going to throw over. James Holly's a guy who got some starts, but like Ryan said, your best 2 guys, one from the right side, one from the left side, and arguably your best left-handed pitcher all season, not available. So Chuck Shaw wants to play matchups. He's going to dig down to the barrel to find somebody, as it's 2-1 in the count to Luis Lamarche. Hebel's not going, and there's an off-speed pitch that Lamarche was way out in front of. Fooled on that one, 2-2.
That was a really excellent pitch there by Widrig. That 70-mile-an-hour breaking ball, it's something that the Suns may be looking, hey, let's get once through the order with Widrig and then go to someone that throws a little bit harder to try to mess with the timing.
Big pitch here for the right-hander. He breaks off another one. This one was never contending for the strike zone, and another full count here. The 3rd one of this inning for the righty Widrig, as Meehan went full, but he flew out to right field. Hebel had the 3-0 count that went a 4-pitch walk. But the Dogs trying to do the same. Work the pitch count of the DeLand Suns and see if they can get into that bullpen. See if Hebel goes. He is. And this is right side. It's down for a base hit. Hebel will take a turnaround second. He'll be to third standing up. It's bobbled out in right field. They're going to send Hebel as he throws up the late stop sign. Lamarche trying to take second. He's going to slide to the back side of the bag, but he is nabbed for out number 2. And once again, Ryan, the base running woes continue for the Winter Park Diamond Dogs.
That was just another case of a guy that was just trying to take an extra base there, and Chuck Shaw made a great decision to hold Colson Hebel at third. He's standing there going, I've seen this movie before. We're not doing this again. And then I'm sure to his horror, he turns second base and goes, oh, God, no, please don't do that, as tag applied, and there's 2 gone in the inning, and now it's all up to Daniel Carinci.
See if the Kansas State Wildcat can try to come up big here with a big first run. The Dogs trying to draw first blood here in the bottom of the 2nd. This one is pop straight up. It's a little Bermuda trying out there beyond shortstop. Fornari coming out. Dixon can't squeeze it. And that will be the biggest error of the season for the Suns. Hebel will cross and score. And that one, Ryan, the Suns just gift wrap a run right there after getting a big out number 2. It's 1-0 Winter Park.
That was a tough play in the triangle in between the left fielder, center fielder, and shortstop, but Dixon had a beat on it, and instead of really It's the old use two hands. He just kind of threw the glove up above his head, and it popped out of the glove, and that's how Winter Park gets their first run of the game.
So back-to-back unfortunate plays by both teams, but the Dogs will take it, leading it 1-0 as Gerardo Miranda steps up as he watches the first pitch 1-0. So Winter Park strikes first here in the bottom of the second inning, a big run, and now you got to think the righty Wolgast sees that score. He'd love some more, but we'll see what he can do now, leading at 1-0. Carinci takes off. He got a good jump. The throw by Prejean. He's in there safely as Daniel Carinci stole that one off the pitcher Widrig and puts himself in scoring position with 2 outs.
So now it's all up to Hudson Widger to get out of this inning as the Suns continuing to work out of the bullpen. It does look like it's Clay Allen that would come in to pitch following Widrig. This may be a 2-2-2-2-1 scenario. The Suns have 4 guys with starting experience they could turn to tonight in Widrig, in Allen, in Tyler Jones, and in Cole Beverlin. And they also have the services of Brandon Castle out of the bullpen, and they have the services of Alex Franzen out of the bullpen.
As Carinci dances off of second base, not afraid to try to tempt pitchers. This one stays outside. And it's now 3-0 to Miranda. I like what Ryan said earlier. Probably just going to throw Widrig and see. This is the 9-hole hitter. Go one time through the lineup. In the worst case scenario, you don't want guys zeroing in on the fastball or keying in on a pitch or something they see second, third time through the order. In a must-win scenario tonight here at Melching Field as Miranda watches that one low. And the second 4-pitch walk of the inning will turn the lineup card over for the Dogs. It'll be Jason Foytno.
So first and second starts the second trip through the order, and here comes Rick Hall. The question is, and I think it's going to be a pitching change because they made the movement down in the bullpen, not necessarily to go, but the bullpen all tipped their caps to say, hey, Clay Allen is ready if we need him, and this may be a situation where every trip through the order, the Suns are going to go to a different guy. They may see if they can get out of this inning with Widrig, but if he doesn't, or if he walks this guy, you may see the Suns turn to Clay Allen.
And how big is that out at second base earlier? What looked like DeLand was going to get out of the inning unscathed. An error by Tim Dixon in center field. He was the hero last night, but he makes an error. Couldn't squeeze the ball on the fly ball to center field. That would have been out number 3 and have been a scoreless ball game in the top of the third. Well, now you got first and second, 2 gone, and the top of the order for Winter Park. And for the Dogs, you saw the chances that you lost out on last night. You don't want to make that same mistake tonight. Try to take advantage with runners in scoring position.
If you're Widrig, you've gotten of your 5 outs, 3 of them have been in the air, plus the error that was also in the air. So you've gotten essentially 6 outs, including the air, and 4 of them have been fly balls. Get one and trust your defense.
It's pitch to contact right here for the righty as Foyno tried to call time late. That's a fastball right down the heart of the plate. He'll probably wish he had that one back. And it's 0-1.
Good first pitch by Widrig. Get a little confidence back to get one in the zone. Again, you just got to trust your defense here. Let them put it in play and see if one of those 7 guys behind you can make a play to get you out of the inning.
35 pitches for the righty through an inning and 2/3. So look to work out of a jam. Dogs lead it 1-0. It was an error by Tim Dixon that allowed the Dogs to score. This one is a softly hit line drive right at the shortstop Hunter Fornari for out number 3. So Winter Park gets a run as the Suns gift wrap that one. They will take it, though, as we at the top of the third inning. It's 1-0. Your Dogs lead it here in the championship game. top of the third inning, Dawgs lead it 1-0. As the first pitch to Tim Dixon is high and inside. It was Dixon's error that allowed the Dawgs to get away with a run, but they will take it. And that is a big run too, Brian, as Wolgast is good with a lead. He's nearly impossible to hit as is. That one's a strike as he tried to check his swing. It was a strike anyway, 1-1.
Wolgast did throw 27 pitches in the first 2 innings, so okay efficiency-wise. Not great, but also not horrible.
This is a chopper over the left side, third base, but LaMarcia will glove it foul, 1-2. And like we were talking about during the break, it begs you to think here, okay, what does it look like? The game plan for Chuck Shaw and Jim Newland. How do they align this bullpen for us at time? You have a guy in Victor Gautier throws very hard, but he can lose the control a little bit, and that's a team against DeLand. You don't want to do that. As the 1-2 from Wolgast is swung on and missed, strike 3. So a big out, number 1 for the righty from Southeastern, and we will see at the bottom of the lineup the last hitter, number 9 hitter Christian Pregent, take the plate.
And this is where not having to play a Game 2 or even a Game 3 against Leesburg helps Winter Park to a certain extent, because if they'd had to play a Game 2, that would have been where you had seen that number 2 starter as
he skies this one right side foul.
That's where you would have had to go and throw Stump Vig there. Then that you would have had to move Swift up. Maybe that means you would have seen Stone Frasina as the starter in Game 2, which would have meant that someone else would have had to come in behind him late last night. Obviously, a lot of moving parts there, but you have a little bit more to play with because you've only played 3 games. This is the fourth playoff game for Winter Park. It's the 5th for DeLand.
And the long layoff the Dawgs saw as that one was fouled. 2 strikes now on Pregent. 0-2. Wolgast would love an efficient inning here. As he mentioned, 27 pitches coming into this inning as that one's skipped up to the plate, 1-2.
Sits at 34 pitches on the game. Good strike-to-ball ratio, 22-12. Pitches in the zone versus out of the zone.
Swung on and missed, strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for the righty Wolgast. It's a dangerous thing for DeLand if he starts to get into a rhythm.
4th strikeout through 9 guys. We try to see what the Suns can do the second trip through the order tonight against Wolgast. McNamara hit him. Burke hit him. Alonzo hit him hard but flew out. Can one of those guys get a shot into the gap maybe and get the Suns offense jump-started?
The first pitch to McNamara, who led it off with a single, was Nab trying to steal second. We'll get his second plate appearance. This is something we saw with the Dawgs. They kind of mounted a little bit of a rally against the Suns pitching staff the second and third time through the order. Well, now you've seen Wolgast once. We'll see if DeLand can make adjustments, talking in the dugout amongst themselves and trying to figure something out. This one's right off the handle. It'll be a little pop fly to the second baseman that Hebel has no trouble with, and a good 1-2-3 efficient inning for the righty Jack Wolgast. So he shuts the door in the top of the third. We head to the bottom half of the third. 1-0. Your Dawgs lead it. It'll be the righty Clay Allen to take the mound here in the bottom of the third. So the Suns trying to throw a fresh arm out there as the first pitch to Luke Reedy is in there for a strike 0-1.
And there's already someone warming up behind Clay Allen. It's Garrett Priestley who's warming up. This is a game the Suns are going to use every arm in their bullpen to try to piece this thing together.
So Christian Prejean will walk out there and talk to his catcher. Allen going to attend ABAC, Abraham Baldwin Agricultural College, just up the road in Georgia. He's from Elma, Georgia, which, Ryan, you looked it up. It's the blueberry capital of the world. So we'll see what the righty Allen can bring to the table. Need to provide some solid relief for the Suns, who trail it 1-0. As that one hits Reedy inside. There's a heater right there, and Reedy will trot down to first base, but not the easy way, and it'll be another leadoff runner here for the Dawgs.
Allen 2-1 with a 4.5 ERA in the regular season. 34 innings, 25 strikeouts, 40 hits allowed, and 14 walks. He faced Winter Park once. It was the July 4th game. He threw pretty well in that game, but did give up 5 runs on 9 hits and took the loss.
As his first pitch to Cole Beaker is a fastball outside, and you were kind of laying it out during the break. You'd love to get 2 innings out of him and try to bridge the gap to the rest of the bullpen. See what Allen can do as he faces the heart of this Dawgs order here in the third. That fastball catches the outside corner. Good pitch at 86. 1-1.
Perfect scenario is you'd get 3 out of Clay Allen. 3 up, 3 down, 3 up, 3 down, 3 up, 3 down. He'd go 1 trip through the order. But given that a guy or two will get on base, you're going to get...
As that ball tips off the glove, Burke. They were going to try to get Reedy. As that's going to be an E3 on Joe Burke. Just tips off the glove of the first baseman. The second error of the game for the Suns. And that puts Reedy in scoring position, changes the whole complexion of the at-bat. And the whole scenario is now Beaker just needs to get a ground ball to the right side and advance the runner.
Now Cole Beaker, before a ground ball to Joe McNamara, bad, bad, bad. Now, good, good, good.
As this one is skied left side, he was tardy on that one to head over the Suns bullpen foul 1-2.
But you mentioned the Suns bullpen today. Pretty much everybody is available. The only guys you can't go to Wood, you can't go to Palmer, who was the Game 1 starter, you can't go to Chobin, who was yesterday's starter. Everybody else, and you can't go to Udell, but everybody else is available.
Ground ball right side, just like they drew it up. McNamara will backhand it. This is a high throw, but nice job by Burke over there. He's able to jump up and land back on the bag just in time. And so now a little ABC baseball here. It'll be Luis Cabrera with a big second run standing 90 feet away for the Dawgs.
So to recap the available essentially tonight for the DeLand Suns, Cole Beverland, Brandon Castle, Nick Cesare, Alex Franzen, Tyler Jones, Garrett Priestley are the guys that can go tonight for the DeLand Suns. Everybody else is down, and if this game were to go into some abominable 19th inning, you might start going to position players. The only position player that's here that's thrown is Joe Burke.
Burke, obviously the first baseman for the Suns. That is a strike on the outside corner. If you're Allen here, you'd love to get a strikeout, but it's going to be a guy in Cabrera who struck out in a big situation last night. But he said today that was the at-bat that stood in his mind, not the clutch base hit that he had, but that last at-bat he had as he left the go-ahead run 90 feet away. As that one's in the dirt 1-1. He's going to have a similar situation here, though, as he could get a big second run and a big advantage for Jack Walgass, who will be taking the hill.
And the Suns aren't concerned right now with that run. Early in the game, they are not going to give up a base hit. They would rather just take the out.
This one's lined right side, but it's going to be just foul. Off the wall over there right side, 1-2. And I like that, too, because Rick Hall's also showing, hey, he trusts his offense to get a couple against the righty Jack Walgass. Hey, we can do this, and we'll let him have that run, traded for an out, and just get back in the dugout and try again.
The Suns know they're going to have to score 2 runs to win this game anyway, so giving up this run makes it a little harder.
It's a soft little pop-up. It's going to get over the head of Joe Burke. In comes Luke Reedy. Cabrera going to take a hard turn around first. He thought about it, but he wisely lays off. That's an RBI single, not the typical one you see out of Cabrera. It's a big one nonetheless. 2-0 Dawgs.
An RBI single by the guy that, if Winter Park wins, may very well be the MVP of this series in Luis Cabrera, as that's a ball that if Joe Burke's playing a little bit further back, and it's not his fault in any way, shape, or form, he's playing a little bit further back, he probably tracks, but having to trail backwards, it just popped down for a base hit, And the Suns are going to have to work with a 2-run deficit now as the middle infield moves to double play depth.
As Cameron Meehan steps up to the plate. Runner at first, that's Cabrera now. Meehan is 0 for 1. He sent a high fly ball to right field, Alan Alonso's way, but Alonso trekked back near the warning track to haul it in for out number 1 in the second. As he watches that one for a strike, 1-1. The 2 errors have come into play very, very much so for the Suns. 2 errors have allowed the Dogs to score 2 runs. Cabrera stands at first with 1 gone. Meehan tried to check his swing. Home plate umpire rules he went 1-2.
And that error especially big because you got a ground ball to second from Cole Beaker. That could have been a tailor-made double play ball that erases any problems. But now the run comes in to score as they got him over to third and scored on the RBI single by Cabrera.
So 2 strikes to Meehan. Allen would love a ground ball or a strikeout. Let's see what he goes with. Swung on and missed. Good pitch there from the righty. And Meehan goes down swinging for out number 2.
So now it's Colston Hebel who walked and scored his first time up. He came in on that error by Tim Dixon. So now DeLand knows they've got to get the offense going. But if they can keep this within 2 or 3, then maybe that first time you get a big inning. Suns haven't had a big inning in this series. If you can get that big inning, keep this game close, that big inning can get you a lead.
Cabrera still stands at first base. Suns trying to keep it manageable as Hebel poked the bat out there a little too far. They're going to check the swing. He didn't go. It's going to be ball 1. It's going to be a pass ball there as it gets off the glove of Pregent. Cabrera moves up to second base, and another runner in scoring position here for Winter Park.
That's it doesn't show up as an error, but that's a third DeLand Sun fielding miscue on the game. This is a game the Suns just have not been sharp defensively thus far. Dropped fly ball, a lot of drops. A dropped fly ball, Burke dropping the throw, having it go off his glove, and then Pregent not being able to get the play behind the plate. He's been good, though, behind the plate. Just couldn't haul that one in.
As that one's outside, low and outside 2-0. He was very good last night with big 4 base running miscues. He was a part of 2 of those, as obviously the outfielders Alonso and Townsend gunned down runners at the plate. But Pregent did a good job as well, 3 times.
Also had the one that the pass ball just got away from him and he picked up and threw a runner out at third.
Cabrera stands at second. Hebel facing his second 3-0 count of the evening. He walked on 4 pitches in the second. That fastball is right down the middle. Little get-me-over heater there from Allen, 3-1.
Allen didn't want to have runners on first and second for Luis Lamarche, who singled his last time up. So just get me over now. Probably go with the fastball again, but you could see maybe a change-up, something like that to mix things up.
They go with the fastball, but it's high. 84 on the radar gun, but Hebel will stroll on to first base. So first and second here is Luis Lamarche will step up. He had the single, but he tried to stretch it into a double, and it was cut down as the throw came to the plate. Pregent fired it to second base. Lamarche tried to get to the backside of the bag, but a nice tag negated that. Probably would have been 2 runs in that inning for the Dogs. They could have converted. Now first and second, Lamarche comes up with an RBI opportunity and 2 gone. Pitch stays high from the righty Allen, 1-0.
And if you're the Suns, if you get out of this inning down 2-0, you feel okay about where you're sitting. This is a game that you've pretty much been dominated through the first 3 innings. You've only sent 1 more than the minimum to the plate. You've made 2 errors and more than that miscues, and you'd still be in the ball game.
As that one skips about, I'd say about right before the plate, all the way to the backstop. That'll move as a wild pitch there from Allen. Lamarche swung at it. It's going to be 1-1, but the runners move up 90 feet now, second and third.
And Allen just needs to buckle down here. As Lamarche, I think, made up his mind that he was going to swing before that ball, when the ball left the hand of the right-hander in Clay Allen. So the Suns get a little bit of a break to get that first strike, but now they need Allen to get out of this inning.
A base hit might score 2 as long as it's not hit to Alonso and right. Dogs know that too well as that fastball stays high, 2-1.
And there is something to be said right now for if you're in the Suns dugout, you make the cost evaluation, if you will. Lamarche or Carinci here? Who would you rather face? The Suns are going to go ahead and face Lamarche and hope he doesn't beat him.
As that one skips up to the dirt, nice block by Pregent. And you're right. LaMarche 1 for 1 today so far. He was 2 for 4 last night. He's swung a hot bat in his return. Carinci, not as well. He's a guy who can hit the ball with some authority, but it has not been able to fall for him this series. That fastball is a strike number 2 right down the middle, and now Allen trying to work all the way back now, 3-2.
Be a huge out to get for Clay Allen to keep this game manageable for the Suns.
Here's the payoff pitch from Allen in the dirt. Pregent blocks it up, so they will face Carinci, but the bases now will be loaded, and the biggest at-bat of the season for Carinci stands in front of him here. A chance to try to break the game open, but like you said, Ryan, if you're DeLand, if you get out of this jam right here, maybe the momentum shifts over to your side, knowing that you just negated a big run-scoring threat for the Dogs.
Looks like Brandon Castle, the lefty, might be throwing in the pen for the Suns if they need to get rid of Clay Allen here soon.
First pitch to Carinci, he wisely lays off. It's 1-0.
I think maybe one more walk from Allen, and it would be time to make the move to the bullpen to face Miranda in a 3-0 ball game if this run is walked in.
Back-to-back walks put him at first and second, an RBI single. That's why Cabrera stands at third. That one's in there for a strike. Good pitch by Allen, evening it up 1-1.
Huge pitch there from Allen. Just get a little bit of confidence going again. That's a great spot, too, on the inner half. Not much you can do with that pitch as a hitter unless you really stay inside of the baseball.
They go with the bender. It skips away from Pregent, but he keeps it close enough. Nowhere Cabrera can go. And Ryan, you said it. He's done a good job behind the plate. You take away that pass ball, really haven't seen anything he hasn't done well all series long.
14 strikes, 14 balls thrown by Clay Allen. He's not had his sharpest stuff, but again, if he can get out of this inning, just the one run across, Suns maintain their chance in this ball game.
Hitter-friendly 2-1 count. That's a strike right down the middle. Carinci probably is going to want that one back. And now he's going to have to battle here 2-2. So one pitch right here could decide what happens in a big way. Swing the momentum each way as Allen looking for that big strikeout to put the Suns back in the dugout. So one's popped up behind the stands over our head, 2-2 still.
And I think right now, Allen realizes that his fastball is what he has the best control of. He's missed a little with the fastball, but he's missing a lot with the breaking ball. I think he knows right here the fastball is where he's going to get the out.
They went with the bender as soon as Ryan said it, and Carinci swings and misses. The Dogs do get one, but more importantly, you got to keep tabs on Allen gets out of a bases-loaded jam, keeping it at a manageable deficit for the Suns. It's 2-0 heading to the top of the fourth of this championship Monday, Dogs and Suns. Top of the fourth inning, Jack Walgass will be working with a 2-0 lead now as the Dogs get a little more insurance, a little more breathing room for Winter Park. It'll be Hunter Fornari, Mark Townsend, and Joe Burke, the heart of this Suns lineup, 2-3-4, that'll face the righty Walgast. First pitch is low. Cabrera couldn't snatch that one up, and it's 1-0.
Suns need to get the offense going. They need to string together hits. They've gotten 2 leadoff hits, but neither guy has gotten past first base. One thrown out and one stranded.
Fornari watches that one for strike one, and we see a 1-1 count. The dramatics in that second inning, we had an error that scored a run. Technically, as Cabrera was able to single home Luke Reedy as that one stays inside 2-1. And the biggest pitch of Allen, I don't know if it's so far this season, Ryan, but he gets Carinci swinging an off-speed pitch to leave him loaded and keep it a manageable deficit, only down 2-0.
It's the pitch right now that keeps the Suns' hopes alive in this ball game.
Fornari was a tad early. Might have hit that one off the end of the bat as one guy might have gone with some off-speed there, but it's 2-2 nonetheless. And after a pretty lengthy time on the bench for Walgass, he had to sit there for a while. We'll see how he comes out here in the fourth. High fastball. Fornari chased it. As that'll be another strikeout on the ledger for the righty Walgast, and out number 1 here in the top of the fourth.
5th strikeout for Walgast through 3 1/3 innings, as the Suns just need to get something. They need that big hit that can re-energize this crowd, re-energize that dugout, and the guy that can provide it is at the plate right now, Mark Townsend, who has the highlight of the game for the Suns on that excellent catch out in left field.
It was a catch back in the first inning that probably saved a run. As that one first pitch to Townsend is outside, 1-0. Dawgs shifted a little bit over the right side, as this one's absolutely roped down the right field line, but it'll get over there near the batting cages in foul territory, 1-1.
Townsend, one of the most talented players in this league, a guy that Stetson looks at and says he's going to be our everyday guy in left field next year. And if Stetson wants to return to the heights they hit in 2018, he's going to have to be a big part of it.
This one's fouled off, 1-2. He's been a big part of the DeLand success, and it's been back and forth argued a lot. Does this guy deserve the MVP? This series, he has absolutely shown why he should deserve the MVP award. He's been great all season long, and not just good in the first half, not just good in the second half, but all season long, all summer, has been a catalyst for this DeLand team. So that one bounces up the plate, 2-2. We'll see what Walgass tries to do here. That one bounced off of Cabrera. He'll take a breather as the umpire will walk around and do the courtesy for Cabrera, letting him get some time, get some new baseballs. We've talked a lot about DeLand's bullpen. Nobody's stirring in the Dogs' side as Walgast is free to go as many as he wants. But you don't want to leave a guy out there too long and make the mistake of not yanking him. There's a ball and 2 strikes for the righty from Southeastern. Swung on and missed. He twisted him inside with an off-speed. And a good pitch there from the righty Walgass. Back-to-back strikeouts and number 6 on the evening for the Southeastern Fire.
Walgass just being dominant thus far, and the Suns are going to have to find out a way to finally get to him at some point if they want to rally in this game. All it takes is the proverbial bloop and a blast, so it's in no way impossible to do, but what you don't want is let him get in a roll, go 7, and then it goes straight to Brian Carrillo for 8 and 9.
As the game gets later, that 1-run, 2-run lead starts to loom a little bit larger on the scoreboard if you're DeLand. And so try to work in, but Walgass trying to work into a rhythm as first pitch to Joe Burke is outside 1-0.
And the guy at the plate right now, Joe Burke, if the Florida League gave out the sort of their equivalent of the NHL's Conn Smythe Trophy, which is given to the playoff MVP for the entire playoffs, it might be this guy, Joe Burke. 9 for 16 in the playoffs for this team. You know, regardless of who wins the championship, there probably wasn't a better player in the Florida League playoffs than Joe Burke.
Yeah, he's been able to come up big. He's gotten on base as well. Like you said, he had the single but was stranded at first last time and scored the winning run last night as this one's right off the handle. It's going to get up over the head of Beeker and in there for a single. Hebel thought he had it. Beeker will get to it, but similar hit to Luis Cabrera. This time it'll fall in the second. Or with 2 outs, that'll put a runner at first. And the Suns will extend the inning to Ryan, the guy that you love to see at the plate when it's crunch time, Peter Hutzel.
Guy that's had a lot of big hits this summer for the Suns, and probably going to do a little bit of research here during the break. That was Joe Burke's 10th hit of the playoffs. I would love to know how many guys in Florida League history have had 10 hits in the playoffs.
You said this was the 5th game, too, which makes that stat even more astounding for the big slugging first baseman. He'll lead off of first with Hutzel at the plate, who takes a big swing and cuts and fouls it back to the screen, 0-1. If you're just joining us, obviously a little bit of a strange sight. The Dogs are the home team, as weather pushed us to play up here at DeLand instead of the original scheduled Sanford. Winter Park leads it 2-0. 2 runs on 4 hits and 2 runs on 3 hits and no errors. As this one's grounded right side, foul. On the Sun side, it's no runs, 3 hits, and 2 errors. That number in the error column is looming large for DeLand. But still a manageable deficit if you are DeLand. You have the pop in your lineup to be able to mount a rally. It's just a matter of when against one of the best pitchers in the league and probably the top arm on this Dawgs staff that was oh so good all season long. That fastball stays inside knee high, and it's a ball and 2 strikes to Peter Hutzel. Good eye there from the left-handed batter.
Joe Burke, not the fleetest of foot. You're going to have to hit a ball pretty deep into the gap to score him, but Hutzel, a guy that has that gap-to-gap power.
That pitch catches the outside corner, and a beautiful one there. An 81-mile-per-hour curveball or something of the sort from Jack Walgass. Strike 3, strikes out the side. But Joe Burke's efforts, they won't go unnoticed. I know Ryan's going to look that up. 10 hits for the slugging first baseman, but he will be stranded at first in the inning. We head to the bottom of the 4th. It's 2-0. Dogs lead it. Bottom of the 4th, Gerardo Miranda to lead it off for the Dogs as he shows bunt and pulls back. It's still Allen out on the mound. As the Suns look like they have a righty warming down in the bullpen. Not sure who that is. We'll have to get a number on that. We'll see how long Allen's stint lasts. Right off the end of that, into the glove of Hunter Fornari. He'll toss it over to Joe Burke at first. And for out number 1, that's exactly the start Allen needed here in the 4th inning.
Yeah, it's big for Clay Allen to get that first big strikeout, or that first big out for the DeLand Suns. Try to keep this game moving. Keep it within 2 or 3 runs. You've got a chance in this game if you can just finally get to Jack Wolgast.
We'll turn the lineup card over. Jason Foyna will see his 3rd plate appearance. He's 0 for 2 as he pulls back the bunt attempt, but it's a strike anyway. He's 0-1. Two Georgia boys going at it, with Allen being from Elba and Foyno being from the Atlanta area, as that one is outside 1-1. find themselves tonight in a crucial Game 3, a winner-take-all. As that one just misses outside 2-1.
So in the last 10 years in the Florida League, 3 guys have 10 hits in the playoffs. One of them a Winter Park Diamond Dog.
This one is a line drive left field, ranging over is Mark Townsend, and he does a nice job of going to his left and hauling that in for out number 2. Foyno hit it well, but it's going to be out number 2. You were saying, Ryan.
Tyler Osick for Winter Park last year had 10 hits. That came in 7 games as Winter Park played in the play-in game, then went 3 games in the semis, and then went 3 games in the finals. The Florida League record, at least in the point streak era, the league started using point streak in 2010, is my buddy Keith Curcio. He played on my Sanford River Rats team in 2012. In 4 games, he had 11 hits for the Rats.
If I'm not mistaken, Curcio, a former Braves farmhand. Not sure where he is now.
I think he's still in it. I think he's in Indy ball.
As Luke Reedy fouls that one off 0-1. Reedy was able to reach on a hit-by-pitch, and they got to second on the error by the first baseman Joe Burke and came around and scored on the single from Luis Cabrera. Taking a beating at the plate after fouling that one off of his ankle. But a good hitter all season long, and in my opinion, maybe a long shot MVP candidate. His name might be on the ballot as that's 1-1. There might be plenty of guys' names on the ballot, but to me, sorry, 2-1. There might be plenty of guys' names on the ballot, but maybe only a couple deserve it. As this one skied right field, Alonso have plenty of time to range that one in and haul it in for out number 3. So exactly what Clay Allen needed, a 1-2-3 inning. He got it back on the horse, and he showed some good gusto out there on the mound for the Suns. Well, at the top of the 5th now, it's 2-0. The Dogs lead it. It's the top of the 5th inning here from Melching Field. Dogs and Suns battling it out in a winner-take-all Game 3. It's Winter Park, though, so far, who has gained the 2-0 advantage with 1 run in the 2nd inning and 1 run in the 3rd. They had a little help from DeLand, 2 errors for the Suns. And the righty Jack Walgast, after striking out the side in the 4th, trying to go back to work here in the 5th inning. And his first pitch to Alan Alonso is low, 1-0.
See if 6, 7, and 8 can do something for the Suns in Alonso, Hilton, and Dixon. Alonso hit one hard back in the 2nd inning, but it was tracked down by Luke Reedy.
That one's in there for a strike for the righty Walgast, 1-1. Alonso trying to get, like Ryan said, something started, a little spark to the fire of the Suns, who are playing in front of a home crowd, even though they are the designated road team. As that one's called for a strike 1-2. Wolgast get his 4th straight strikeout right here. We'll see. Chopper left side. LaMarche has it, but it's going to be in foul territory as the Savannah State third baseman will flip it over to Wolgast, and count remains 1-2.
And the Suns, again, they've been pretty much dominated for most of this game, but they're still in the ball game. All it's going to take is just string a couple hits together if you can get them.
Off speed, and he swings and misses. Strikeout number 8 for Jack Wolgast as he does a good job on that one. And 4 straight for the righty, who seems to be getting in a groove here as Brandon Hilton steps to the plate.
Yeah, he's now struck out 6 of the last 8 batters he has faced, beginning with the top of the 3rd inning. The only guys to put a ball in play, McNamara on a pop out and the single by Joe Burke.
This will be the righty-lefty matchup. Hilton, who tried to get on the board and, like I said, might not have a successful campaign, but in a Game 3 winner-take-all, you got to put that aside as he watches that one low 1-0. Just past the 10 o'clock hour here in Melching Field on the campus of Stetson, as that one kicks off the glove of Luis Cabrera. For the season finale, no matter what happens tonight, it's over. One team will go home happy, one team will go home with their sights set for next season. DeLand and Winter Park, 2 best teams all season long, and no other way you'd have it between the Suns and the Dawgs. It's the 2-0 pitch from Wolgast. Swung on and missed. He went low with it, and Hilton chased it 2-1.
Especially after last night, this series deserved to go a 3rd game. These were 2 teams that they played 9 times this year, 5-4 Winter Park. These are 2 teams that have been even all season long, and this series deserved to go a 3rd game.
As the 2-1 is chopped to right side, Colson Hebel will field it on a nice hop and throw over to Beaker for out number 2. So they put the ball in play, but right at a Dawgs defender, and that's just how Wolgast will like it. As he has 8 strikeouts and has pitched very efficiently here into the 5th inning.
So just a peek behind the curtain here, fans. If your iPhone is near you saying the term, this series deserved to go 3 games, and it just did it again, will kick Siri into action on the iPhone.
There's 2 gone here in the 5th inning as he misses outside to Dixon. Apologize, that caught the outside corner 0-1. Siri even recognizing this game did deserve to go 3 games. A fantastic series between these 2 teams. Living up to the billing here. Wolgast fires that in for a strike, and if you're DeLand, you got to get the bat off your shoulder at some point because Wolgast is not missing, and if he does, it's not very often. He's got Tim Dixon in an 0-2 hole. All the momentum right now on Wolgast's shoulders. Grounded over near the Suns' dugout. Count remains 0-2.
For Winter Park at the bottom of the 5th inning, heart of the order, Beaker, Cabrera, Meehan. We'll see if it's a 3rd inning of work for Clay Allen. I would anticipate after a 1-2-3, that is what they're going to do.
Another 0-2 pitch from Wolgast. Swung on and missed. Strikeout number 9 for the righty. And the best pitcher all season long is living up to that billing right now. As we head to the bottom of the 5th inning, it's 2-0 Dawgs. It's the bottom of the 5th inning, and Cole Beaker strides to the plate with a 2-0 lead for the Dawgs. And trying to get more for their pitcher, Jack Walgast, who has dominated through 5 innings of work. 67 pitches and 9 strikeouts. As Clay Allen fires in a first pitch strike over the outside corner, 0-1 to Beaker.
And Allen has done his part to keep the DeLand Suns in this baseball game tonight.
You can't fault Allen for what he's done. He had the bases loaded and he got out of the jam. Kept it 2-0. But went 1-2-3 last inning, and now he has Cole Beaker in an 0-2 count.
67, we think. We're double checking.
Here's the 0-2 pitch to Beaker. Curveball, strike 3. That'll send Beaker back to the bench. And so Ryan, don't look now, but Clay Allen kind of settling into a groove. He went 1-2-3 in the 4th, and he gets Beaker striking out on 3 pitches here in the 5th.
Yeah, a really nice outing here by Clay Allen as he's keeping the DeLand Suns in this baseball game. There's no other way to put it. The offense hasn't got it done. Clay Allen is trying to extend this game, keep it a 2-run game as long as he can to see if at some point the Suns can get it going.
And on the other side, the Dawgs, they don't want to see DeLand hang around and getting late. You do have that vaunted bullpen, but you'd like to have the game in control before that. As that curveball misses way outside, 1-0.
And, you know, I would say, you know, once this game ends, I'm going to be happy to not see Jack Wolgast anymore. But that idiot's going to Southeastern, so I'm going to have to deal with him in conference play at Ave Maria.
Yeah, Wolgast heading to Southeastern after pitching, I think it was about 6 innings at New Orleans. He'll be heading over to Southeastern, part of a little duo as Luis Cabrera, who's at the plate, will be heading there too, so you're going to see more of him too. As the 2-0 pitch to Cabrera is swung on and missed 2-1.
Yeah, like Southeastern needs more help. They've only gone to the World Series back-to-back freaking years.
2 balls and a strike. Allen trying to get another quick inning of work and see if his DeLand offense can mount something against Wolgast.
We actually beat them this year in a midweek game, and it was one of the biggest achievements in the history of our baseball program. They ranked #1 in the country. We got them in a midweeker, and it was the biggest win in Ave Maria baseball history.
Rushing the field, everything, Gatorade bath.
Didn't quite do that, but it was, you know, Ave Maria beating Southeastern in anything. Southeastern is a phenomenal athletics program across the board. If you beat Southeastern in something, it's a big deal. We actually had some good success against them this year. Beat them in football to win a conference title. Beat them in basketball on our way to a conference title there.
As Cabrera grounds this one to third, right into the glove of Peter Hutzel, who will throw on to first, and a good pick over there by Joe Burke retires Cabrera. And so 5 straight have been sat down here by Allen, who, like Ryan said, just needs to provide and eat some innings. 6 straight, apologize for Allen.
Including that strikeout of Carinci to end the 3rd
Yes.
inning. And after back-to-back walks, Allen has settled in really, really nicely. He's keeping the Suns in this ball game. 9-1-2 coming up for DeLand in the 6th to try to get the offense jump-started.
Allen's done his job as Meehan sends this one to left field. He ambushes a first pitch fastball, and he didn't miss, as that was a hard hit line drive, gets in for a single for Cameron Meehan.
So now Allen will have to work with a man on base. Nobody's behind him in the bullpen as the Suns look at this point content to keep Clay Allen out there for an extended outing. He's been really good for the Suns, but now get out of this inning and give your offense. You've got 12 more outs to work with. 2 runs, 12 outs. Not that hard to do, but it is hard as good as Wolgast has been throwing.
Bring Colson Hebel to the plate as he hits the first pitch, and Allen might get out of it. This was over near the screen, but it's going to get up into the bleachers, and looked like Pregent thought he had a play on it. Good reaction there from the catcher, but it'll just be strike number 1. DeLand will put up Christian Pregent at the top of the order, Joe McNamara and Hunter Fornari in the top of the 6th inning. There's obviously nobody in the Dawgs bullpen. This is Jack Wolgast's game, 67 pitches through 5. As they throw over to first, and Meehan back in plenty of time. He'll check the runner over there, give him a quick look. Meehan has speed. He's not going. And that's outside 1-1. Hebel at the plate. Luis Lamarche, who's reached twice, once with a single, once with a walk, stands the on-deck circle. He'd like a chance to hit, but it'd be up to Hebel to extend the inning. As they throw over, Meehan gets the jersey a little bit dirty. Ball count still stands 1-1. Park leads it 2-0. One in the second, one in the third, and that's where we stand. Little lazy fly ball right side. Alan Alonso, though, carried out to the right fielder. He will haul that one in for out number 3. So credit Clay Allen, a big 3 innings of work for the righty. He gets through that one, and he still only trails at 2-0. The Suns have a chance as we enter the top of the 6th inning. It's the top of the 6th inning. Jack Walgas back on the mound. 67 pitches through 5 and 9 strikeouts as he'll face Christian Pregent, the Suns catcher, who hits a nice diving play by LaMarche. It was down the left field line. LaMarche with a long throw. He got him. Luis LaMarche flashes the glove over there, and it's one gone here in the top of the 6th inning.
And that's just been the kind of day it's been for the DeLand Suns when they've put the ball in play against Wolgast. It's been to somebody. Yeah, Alonso hit a ball hard. To somebody. Pregent hits the ball hard. To somebody. The Dawgs just playing good defense behind. That's why you see a 0 in that third column of theirs. So now the top of the order is going to have to get something going. As if you're the Suns, you get one more at-bat after this, but you need to get something else going.
That one's in there for a strike, and that's also something. Wolgast has gotten ahead of a lot of hitters, not throwing a ton of balls. 47 strikes to 22 balls for the right-hander. He's 0-1 on Joe McNamara. He comes back with another one. That's a strike. 0-2. So hadn't even lifted the bat off his shoulder, and McNamara already faces an 0-2 hole. See what Wolgast goes with a potential strikeout pitch here. Going for double digits in strikeouts. That's low and outside. 1-2. Last batter to reach was Joe Burke with the single back in the 4th inning. Like Ryan said, the hottest hitter in all of the Florida League playoffs this year. That one's outside. 2-2.
If you can get McNamara on, you've got 2 good hitters behind him in Fornari and Townsend, both of whom have gap-to-gap power that they can just get a pitch from Wolgast to handle.
They go up and in. That's going to be a ball 3-2. So after getting ahead of the leadoff hitter and Joe McNamara, he's now fallen behind. It's full count for Wolgast, and we'll see what he goes with here. It looks like Victor Gote has started milling around in the Dawgs bullpen, the righty from Kaiser. Payoff pitch, right side, base hit. So nice at back there by McNamara. Didn't get off his bat off his shoulder the first 2 pitches. Found himself in an 0-2 hole, but was able to fight one off. And right there, that brings the tying run to the plate. And like you said, Ryan, a bloop and a blast would do it. And we'll see what they can do here as Hunter Fornari will stride to the plate with the big bat of Mark Townsend lurking in the on-deck circle.
5th hit of the playoffs by Joe McNamara. 2nd hit of the night, or I should say 6th hit of the playoffs, as he got 2 hits tonight for these DeLand Suns. And now you have to get the big hit here to try to get you a run in this inning.
Wolgast will throw over. Not the most athletic move over to first base, but we'll take it. 9 strikeouts for the righty, but right now he's got a runner at first base and the tying run at the plate in the form of Hunter Fornari. Fornari struck out twice swinging. As this one skied left field, not very deep. Luke Reedy will come over, ranging towards the foul line. The wind took that one back over the right side, but he's able to stay with it for out number 2.
2 gone in the inning, and it's worth noting as we get later in this outing for Wolgast, and we're seeing it a little bit here in the 6th with just the Suns hitting the ball harder this inning. This is the first time that Wolgast has pitched, both times extended, on this short of rest. He's always had 6 or 7 days in between starts, in between longer outings this summer.
As this one's hit a mile high up in the air, but not very far. Foytno coming in, but it's going to be Reedy who calls off his center fielder for out number 3. So he didn't do with his strikeouts that inning, but he does get 3 outs. But like Ryan said, it's the first time we've seen DeLand really hit the right-hander. As he's through 6 here, though, it's 2-0. It's the bottom of the 6th inning here in the winner-take-all championship game. Bryce Crew alongside Ryan Murphy as the Dawgs and Suns battle it out. Winter Park won Game 1. DeLand came back the night after and fended off elimination. And as we stand right now, Winter Park with a 2-0 lead as Clay Allen pumps in strike number 1 to Luis Lamarche.
Up in the pen for the Suns, it's Cole Beverly. He's going to be the guy that try to keep this behind Clay Allen, but Allen has just been absolutely outstanding.
This one skips up to play, and you're exactly right. He came in and probably exceeded the expectations of the Suns coaching staff. He's working now into his 4th inning of work, and he has kept the deficit 2-0, kept the Suns in the game. Although that might seem a little bit larger as we get later into this ball game. 4 runs, 4 hits apiece for both of these teams. And that one's 2-1 outside. But Ryan, those errors just looming larger and larger as we get later into this game as the Suns come into those errors early and the Dawgs were able to capitalize. This one's hit fly ball, left field, left center as Tim Dixon ranges over. He'll squeeze this one, 2 hands that time, and it's be 1 gone.
Yeah, that dropped fly ball really looming large in this game. But again, you can't say enough about Clay Allen. 3 1/3 innings, giving up just 2 hits, 1 run it was earned, 3 strikeouts and 2 walks for the guy from Georgia they call Big Country down there in the clubhouse for the Suns, and he really has just been outstanding today for the Suns. You cannot say enough about what Clay Allen has done.
As Foytno's going to try to push bunt here, but this one is going to hug the line but finally go foul right before it hit the mid of Joe Burke. And I like what you said, a gutsy performance from the righty. He came in trailing, and he was able to do a really good job as it's 0-1 now to Daniel Carinci at the plate.
And a good heads up play made there by Joe Burke. The ball was foul, but in case it had tailed back fair, Burke had his foot on the bag as he caught it. So if it was called fair or anything like that, he's out.
As Carinci watches that one for a strike, and like Ryan said, that one hugged the chalk all the way down and just kicked foul at the last second. But Burke with some good awareness defensively over there at first base. The 0-2 to Carinci stays high 1-2. Thing to know about Carinci is he's been battling a little bit of a wrist injury. After sliding in headfirst to home plate last night, he clicked it off the catcher's cleat that was Pregent. As he shows bunt, pulls it back, and then hits a rocket into the Suns bullpen. They don't have the protective tent tonight. That might have helped out a little bit, but it's going to be 1-2 still to Carinci.
Well, even those morons aren't going to put a tent up at 9 o'clock at night. Like, this game got going about 8:55. Even those lunatics don't go with the tent there.
He hits on right off the end of the bat, but a nice job by Joe McNamara to call off his shortstop Hunter Fornari for out number 2. So it'll be 2 quick outs here in the 6th inning as the Dogs would love to get some insurance as Gerardo Miranda strides to the plate.
And again, you need, if you're Winter Park, you feel comfortable with what you've got in a 2-run lead right now, but you still got to face Burke, still got to face Hudson. You got to face everybody in this lineup, and what you don't want is one mistake to be driven out of the yard with a guy on base, and this game all of a sudden's tied.
The Dogs would love to try to get some insurance as that heater from Allen just misses outside. And like I said, that is the worry. Gauthier has actually started throwing now off the mound. So we'll see what they elect to do if Wolgast does get a chance to go out for the 7th inning. 2-0 now to Miranda. Two gone here in the bottom of the 6th inning as Miranda pops this one up right side. Joe Burke will give a long look at it, but it'll kick up into the stands, and 2-1 now.
Allen trying to complete a 4th inning of work, and Cole Beverland has sat back down, whether he's ready or whether they're going to keep going with Clay Allen until the cows come home.
Here's the 2-1 pitch from Allen. That is a strike on the outside corner, 2-2. Gautier's starting to make his way down to the Dogs' dugout, and Ryan, if I'm Shaw, you have faced the tough decision. Do you throw Wolgast after kind of got hit around a little bit, but they were outs as the 2-2 is swung on and missed? We'll have to see then, though, as we head to the top of the 7th. Will it be Wolgast or will the Dogs go to the bullpen and Gauthier? Make sure to tune in as we have the final 3 innings, possibly, here from Melching Field. It's 2-0. Winter Park leads it. Top of the 7th inning, and Ryan, the Dogs have elected to go to the bullpen. It is going to be the righty Victor Gauthier out of Kaiser University who will be called on to pitch to arguably some of the most dangerous hitters in the Suns lineup. Joe Burke, Peter Hutzel, and Alan Alonso are guaranteed to have an at-bat.
And there's action up in the bullpen, and I'd bet dollars to donuts that is that Victor? Is that Carrillo? I don't know. I don't think so.
Surprisingly, that might be the righty Drew McMahon, who struggled in his only outing against DeLand way back when in early June. So Chuck Shaw might be trying to throw a little wrench in the plans of the Suns as Joe Burke stands at the plate against Gauthier. As that heater is going to be just a bit high, and it's 2-0. And it doesn't seem to look like the typical delivery of Carrillo. It may be Miranda, so interesting things happening here. In Melching Field, the Dogs lead at 2-0.
And if Joe Burke going for a little bit of history here, if he gets a base hit, it would tie the Florida League record for hits in a single playoffs with 11.
That heater right there registering at 90 miles per hour is in for a strike, 2-1. And like you said, no matter what happens tonight, if the Suns end up in a losing effort, give a clap and a pat on the back to Joe Burke. If this is indeed the end of his Florida League career, like you said, what a way to end it, as this one's over to left side and foul, 2-2.
And again, this is a case where if the Dogs win, Luis Cabrera is more than likely the MVP, but Joe Burke would be the perfect case of a guy that from the losing team to win the MVP. Again, if this was a more Conn Smythe type trophy for the entire playoffs, I don't think there's been a better player in the Florida League playoffs than Joe Burke. He's also played a very good first base, a lot of key picks for the Kentucky Wesleyan Panther. He has been absolutely phenomenal.
As it looks like Burke's going to have to get a new war club and head back to the plate. It's actually going to be the righty James Holly who's warming up in the bullpen. Got a number 17 down there. He pitched 2 scoreless innings against the Suns way back in Game 1. This seems like it was a while ago, but we'll see what happens.
And the thought there might be Gauthier 7, Holly 8, and so you don't get a 2-inning look at Brian Carrillo, who's best when he's in that 15 to 20 pitch range.
Strike 3, the old Uncle Charlie right there from Victor Gauthier gets Burke looking, and that is a big out number 1 because now it brings to the plate, and we talked about this in the break when we thought Gauthier was going to come out, Peter Hutzel. If you flash back on the 4th of July, Peter Hutzel took Victor Gauthier deep. A home run right here, you wouldn't want it if you're Gauthier, but the only damage you can do is 1 run, as getting Burke out was really big.
A long home run for the Canadian on the 4th of July.
As that one's low, 1-0.
Hutzel, a guy that is 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts today, but he's hitting .500 in the playoffs. He's 2 for 4. Had the big hit last night that helped extend the game and lead to Tim Dixon's heroics.
Gauthier coming from the windup, misses high with the fastball, 91 of the gun. So he's got some heat behind that fastball, but the problem this year has just been locating it. If this kid can locate it consistently, he's going to be very good. He's got a very good secondary pitch and trying to develop that changeup as well. Swing and a miss, 90 miles an hour. Hutzel comes up empty, 2-1.
Suns down to their final 8 outs of the season, but their pitching has kept them in this ball game to try to get back into it for the DeLand Suns.
Holly's still warming up, but it's Gauthier right now. As maybe a little mix-up there. That is actually going to hit Hutzel. So fastball hits the third baseman for the Suns, puts the tying run at the plate now in the form of Alan Alonso.
And I'll go ahead and say it. It would take a heck of a swing, but if Alan Alonso hits the ball out of the yard here, we might need to duck because the bat might come in our direction, and there's about a 50-50 chance he'd get thrown out of the game because he'd either throw the bat our direction or he'd carry the bat like it was the Olympic torch.
Alonso, a fun guy to be around, a kind of a guy in the clubhouse you like to have, too, as it's 1-0.
And behind him is Brandon Hilton. What redemption it would be for Hilton if Alonso can get up and then Hilton can come up with a big hit. Guy that has struggled mightily in the playoffs, but all would be forgiven if he came up with a big hit here in the 7th.
Ground ball right back to Gauthier. Can they turn it? He bobbles it, and the throw is wide, and they can't get any. Luckily, Colson Hebel was standing there. It's going to be an E1 on Victor Gauthier. And wow, the error bug bites the Dogs there. And Ryan, that's going to bring up Brandon Hilton to the plate. And a big lefty power swing from this kid could send the Suns into jubilation here with a 3-2 lead.
Fielder's Choice E1 is how that's going to go down in your scorebooks to put Alonso aboard. I don't think they would have turned 2 there because the ball got into Gotay's glove and he sort of double clutched a little bit before he threw the ball away. So probably doesn't get Alonso, who was running like his hair was on fire down the line. But it puts the tying run at first for the powerful Brandon Hilton.
Big matchup here, a big swing from Hilton. That's going to be a foul ball down the right side. And right now, fans probably thinking, why in the world did you take Jack Walgast out? Well, that would be a decision that comes back and haunts Winter Park, who was just rolling through 6 innings of work.
Hilton cannot try to hit the ball out of the yard here. Has to shorten up the swing and just find a gap in this defense.
Pitch misses outside. They went off speed. That one at 81, and now 1-1 to Hilton. You don't want to make a mistake to the big lefty, but Gotay's got the fastball that could challenge him. Runners first and second for DeLand. The first time all evening they've really threatened against this Dogs team. Ripped down the first base line, but foul. That one was just a few inches to the left. DeLand at least has 1 run on the board, and you said it earlier, the way Alonso runs, it might have had a tie run game.
That might have tied the ball game. Alonso probably wasn't stopping, even if that throw would have been on line. He'd have been all the way around the bases to try to tie the ball game. But now it's Hilton again. Can't try to hit the home run here. Got to try to just find a gap, maybe hit the ball the other way, and get a run in.
First and second, 1-2. Let's see what Gotay goes with. Just got a piece of that one, as Hilton barely just fouls that one off to stay alive, and Cabrera will come out and talk to his former high school teammate and Victor Gotay.
That was a nice approach there by Brandon Hilton. 3 times last night he got rung up on pitches right around the knees, which for a guy that's 6'7" like him, a pitch at the knees is incredibly hard to hit. It's something the Suns were arguing a little bit last night. Is like, listen, yeah, knees, you can't call that on a 6'7" guy. He can't hit the ball down there. But that was a case where he knew, hey, that's a knee-high pitch they're going to ring me up on. I've got to dip low and just send that thing foul and keep the at-bat alive and see if you can get a miss upstairs from Gotay.
It was a nice adjustment, like you said, from what we saw last night. Now can he turn it full circle here and with the ball and 2 strikes, stay alive? He does not. Gotay powers that at 88. He elevates the fastball, changes the eye level, and now it's a big out number 2. Apologies, big out number 1. Big out number 2 as Tim Dixon steps up to the plate, and Dixon, obviously the hero in last night's game. He could come up big with a base knock here. First pitch to Dixon is way high, 1-0. He struck out Joe Burke looking to lead off the inning, and then after a hit-by-pitch of Hutzel, Alonso reached on a fielder's choice in an E1. That sets the stage here. First and second here in the top of the 7th inning. The Dogs leading it by 2. Goes with a curveball at 81. It catches the outside corner, 1-1.
Suns need a run here. You're going to have the heart of your order, 9-1-2 at the very least next inning, but you do not want to just let outs continue to slip away.
Gotay will take a step off the mound, realizing the magnitude of this situation. We said it earlier. DeLand has not found themselves in a threatening type situation so far, and right now, the best opportunity they've had all night is right in front of them. Swing and a miss of the breaking ball. So 81 there. Back-to-back breaking balls from Gotay. See what he goes with here. Does he try to change that eye level once again and elevate a heater? Gotay has the advantage. Ball and 2 strikes.
See if the Suns try to get somebody in motion here just to maybe catch the Dogs off guard.
Here's the 1-2. Line drive in the gap in left center field. Foytno racing over. He dives, and he makes the grab. Jason Foytno probably saves 1 run, maybe 2. And Foytno, the biggest catch of the season for the Dogs. And the Winter Park will head to the bottom of the 7th inning, leading it 2-0. Bottom of the 7th inning, and Jason Foytno will stride to the plate with possibly the play of the season, robbing 2 runs, maybe 3 if that gets past him, Ryan. And now as he faces Clay Allen here in the bottom of the 7th, a chance to do damage with the bat.
And if you're the Suns here, you have to be able to know, okay, we've got to the bullpen a little bit. We hit the ball there. We're not out of this game. Clay Allen's been magnificent. He's got to keep up throwing strikes. His back-to-back pitches have missed the zone.
4 innings of work for the righty, and he's done more than the DeLand pitching staff and the coaching staff could have asked for. He's kept the Suns team in the ball game. 2-0 pitch from Allen, right down the middle. Foytno takes it 2-1. We've talked about Foytno's speed, and on the base pass he's been very good all season long. But defensively he comes up with just a massive catch in left center field to rob the Suns of a potential game-tying hit. That one catches 2-2.
And it would have been Tim Dixon coming up with the hit again after him walking off on the single last night.
Allen's worked it back even. Can he get another strikeout? This one is a little flare right side, but it's not going to get deep enough. McNamara has it on the edge of the outfield grass, and it's one gone here. Allen has done very, very good for DeLand in relief.
Yeah, this is a case where if DeLand somehow comes back and wins this game, Clay Allen might be your MVP. 4 1/3 innings with just 1 run allowed on 2 hits. This has been, you could not have asked for anything better from the DeLand Suns right-hander and Clay Allen. If he pitches like this at Abraham Baldwin, they're getting a heck of an arm.
As Reedy stands in, they go with the off-speed and misses outside. And we looked at the stats earlier, a guy that really wasn't that effective in a starting role this season. But when the lights are the brightest here in the championship game, a winner-take-all, he's been very good as Reedy fouls that one off 1-1.
This is not a game. If the Suns lose, it's not the pitching staff's fault. 6 1/3 innings, 1 earned run, 5 Ks, 4 walks between Widrig and Allen. These 2 guys that have had their struggles this season, they've been everything the Suns could want.
As that misses inside, much to the displeasure of the crowd, 2-1. Luke Reedy at the plate as the Dogs lead at 2-0 as he swings and fouls this one off 2-2.
6 guys the Suns are guaranteed to send to the plate: Pregent, McNamara, Fornari, Townsend, Burke, Hutzel. So the Suns still have plenty of firepower to go with their last 6 outs. This is a game that is still very much in play.
Off speed, Reedy doesn't bite. So 3-2 now. Good take there by the Rollins Tar. And it's going to be a full count. And you got to think, too, the Dogs might go to James Holly, who is warming up, and let Brian Carullo just take the ninth. This is a line drive, same place as last time. This is going to get into the gap, and nice job by Tim Dixon cutting off. Reedy's going to try for 2. The throw comes in, not in time. Luke Reedy with a hustle double. He was thinking 2 out of the box, and he's got it, and he puts himself in scoring position with 1 gone.
And that was a nice tag by McNamara. Almost caught the shoe tops of Reedy as he slid in, but that one just started tailing away in center field, and a really nice job by Dixon to cut it off and even make it close at second base. But Reedy's got himself on second, and Rick Hall is going to move to the bullpen. Clay Allen, phenomenal tonight. You cannot ask for anything more, and his teammates are all going to come in and say, Big Country, you did what we needed you to do. Well done, young man.
Yeah, no matter what happens, I think the rest of the Suns offense might owe this guy lunch. As 2-0, all right, as he went 4 in the 3rd inning, like Ryan said, and just absolutely dazzled in relief, kind of stunning this Dogs offense until Reedy finally got that hit. But it'll be Brandon Castle when we come back. So with one gone and a runner on second, Clay Allen's day is done. It'll be Brandon Castle, the lefty, to take on Cole Beaker, lefty on lefty matchup, and the Dogs will have a big third run standing at second base. Line drive left field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Reedy had to hold up to see if that would get through and get down. He'll stay at third. Wise decision. And bases, runners at the corners now, one gone.
Do you think there's any chance that they were sending Luke Reedy there against Mark Townsend? I don't think any way in the world, unless that ball was standing at the fence, that they were going to send. And that was the Suns trying to play a matchup, trying to go lefty on lefty, because here comes Beverland.
Yeah, it'll be Cole Beverland, the Florida State Seminole, will be called on in a tough situation. First and third, one gone, and we'll be back. Bottom of the seventh inning, runners at the corners. It'll be Cole Beverland against Luis Cabrera. As Cabrera strides in with a big insurance run standing 90 feet away. Fly ball center field. Let's see if this could do it. Tim Dixon ranging in. He's going to gear up for the throw, and it's going to be cut off by Joe Burke. Apologizes. No, it will not. Reedy slides in head first, well ahead of the tag, and that is a big sacrifice fly for Luis Cabrera.
Yeah, didn't look like Dixon got the greatest read on that ball. Kind of caught it behind his head a little bit, so wasn't able to make the strongest throw, and Reedy runs pretty well, so that's enough for a run for the Diamond Dogs, and now the task becomes a little bit harder for the DeLand Suns, and that also put Beaker in scoring position for Cam Meehan.
As Meehan swings and misses, Meehan hit a hard hit ball into left field last time for a single, and that'll up Cabrera's postseason stats. Not quite as good as Joe Burke's, but he'll be actually 9 for 15. A home run and now 5 RBIs. Or 6 RBIs to that total, 2 tonight. As it's a quick 0-2 on Cameron Meehan.
And I think here comes the patented curveball from Cole Beverland. He's thrown a couple of 88, 89 mile-an-hour fastballs. Let's see if he goes to the curve.
0-2, stay with the fastball, and Meehan hit it. This is left side, but Mark Townsend is there in left field, and he's not going to let you down as Cameron Meehan now a little jawing back and forth between him and Cole Beverland. And that will take it to the top of the 8th inning. Tension getting high here. 2 more innings to play, and the Dogs with a big 3-run lead. Victor Gauthier out for a second inning of work. It was Jason Foytno with a Superman heroics in center field that saved Gauthier last time. Suns are going to crack at him again here in the 8th.
First pitch was in the zone there to Christian Prejean, who's 0 for 2 on the game. Suns probably need a run here in this inning to make it at least a little bit more palatable come the 9th inning.
As he goes back without and pumps in another strike, 0-2. It'll be Prejean in the top of the lineup, and like Ryan mentioned, a potential 9th inning is going to see the heart of the Suns' order. Exactly where you want when you're trailing, but that big insurance run in the 7th is looming large for the Dawgs. Swing and a miss. 3 pitches and a strikeout for Victor Gauthier. That's exactly how you wanted to start off the top of the 8th inning.
In the bottom of the order, the final 4 hitters for the Suns, they've just been dominated tonight by the pitching staff, by Gauthier, and by the starter in Wolgast. From Alonso down, from the 6th spot down, 0 for 12 with 6 strikeouts.
Yeah, Wolgast had 9 of them. Gauthier put up 1 right there. Is 1 gone here in the top of the 8th inning. 3-0 lead for the Dawgs. This one's hit deep center field. Foytno will range back a couple steps, and it's going to be out number 2. So 4 pitches, 2 outs for Gauthier, looking to work a quick 8th inning.
And now it's Fornari, and followed by Townsend. If the FGCU Eagle trying to break up an 0 for 3 day, he has struggled in the playoffs, has Fornari, but a guy that does hit the ball well. He's 2 for 19 in the playoffs for the Suns, but he's only struck out 4 times in those 19 at-bats. He's putting the ball in play. He's just hitting it at people.
So with 2 gone, can Gauthier take us to the bottom of the 8th where the Dawgs look for more insurance before it's might be Brian Carullo time. He's the only one in that Dawgs bullpen right now that you want up. First pitch is a ball, 1-0 to Hunter Fornari, who's 0 for 3. That one just misses outside, 2-0. Familiar face for Gauthier is high school teammate Luis Cabrera behind the plate. Can the duo get through the 8th inning? Here's the 2-0 pitch. That is high, 3-0 now.
And if you can get Fornari aboard, you've got Townsend, and then best hitter on the team thus far in the playoffs in Joe Burke to try to inch you back into this ball game with the final 4 outs to play with.
That one catches the inside corner. Good comeback there for Gauthier. Now he's got a little work to do. 3 balls and a strike to the 2-hole hitter.
And no sense swinging at that. If you're Fornari, it's on the inner half. All it would have done is sawed him off. You stay at the plate, make Gauthier come to you, see if it's a little more hittable.
Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Good pitch there. Fornari let loose on that one, and now it's a big payoff pitch. You'd love to face Mark Townsend with bases clear next inning if you're Gauthier and the Dawgs. As it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Gauthier going for the punch-out. Strike 3, got him. Swing and a miss. Victor Gauthier does his work. 2 innings of scoreless relief, and the Dawgs will go for some insurance before 3 outs await them, and it most likely be Brian Carullo in the top of the 9th. It's 3-0. Winter Park leads it. First pitch, Colson Hebel fouls that one off his foot. He'll take a walk around. Cole Beverland will come out for his second inning of work. He was able to work out of a jam, working into his second inning as he had 2 outs in the 7th. We'll look to keep it at a 3-0 deficit as the Dogs will turn to closer, who's been good all season long, in Brian Carullo in the top of the 9th with just 3 more outs and trying to get their first championship since 2014. Go with the off speed at 78. It misses 1-1. Beverly kicks and deals. Grounder to short. Fornari has it. He comes up with it and fires it over to Joe Burke at first for the first out of the bottom of the 8th inning.
And we say it again, this is a game that the pitching staff of the DeLand Suns can be incredibly proud of, especially if they keep it at 3. And even if you lose this game 3-0, 3-1, 3-2, the pitching staff gave the Suns a chance to win tonight, and if you're Rick Hall and you look at the guys, especially Widrig, Allen, and now Beverland, be like, boys, we could not have asked anything more of you tonight.
The pitching staff for both teams been good all series long as LaMarche flails and misses at that one. It's 0-1. The Dogs' offense has shown up, and it was Wolgass for 6 strong as that one bounces the plate 1-1. Who struck out 9 through 6 innings of work and just dominated this DeLand Suns lineup. They go off speed at 79 and miss inside 2-1. Marche with a hitter-friendly count, 2-1. They'll come back and he fouls this one up and over the stands, 2-2. The Marche Carinci stands on deck. He's 0 for 3. He did reach on an error back in the second inning. Bottom of the lineup here for the Dogs in the home half of the 8th. Ground ball up the middle and another base hit for Luis LaMarche. That's going to be his 4th hit of the postseason. Postseason, he's only played 2 games. So nice job hitting there by LaMarche. Doesn't try to do too much with it. And it's a 1-out base runner.
And there's just a championship game MVP. Luis LaMarche would be a candidate 2 for 3 in this ball game. And helped get the run across in the 2nd with a single. We'll see if he can get an insurance run across here in the 8th. But Beverland would love a double play ball here off the bat of Carinci, who's 0 for 3.
Carinci squares the bunt, and he'll get it down. It's a pretty good bunt. Beverland going to range to his right side. He overthrows the first baseman, Burke, and Carinci is going to be in between first and second. He'll finally go. LaMarche was in between, going second to third, but they're able to get there. He was trying to give himself up, and now the Dogs' dugout is roaring down there. They feel it now, leading 3-0, and a runner at second and third with 1 gone.
3rd error of the game from the DeLand Suns, 2nd from the pitching staff. I should say 2nd on plays involving the pitchers. The first error was on Joe Burke as he couldn't catch a pickoff throw from Cole Beverland. And as Rick Hall's got something to say to Winter Park, basically, I think he's trying to tell the umpire, look, they're taunting my team. There's a difference between encouraging your own guys and taunting Beverland on the mound. I think Winter Park would argue, hey, it's tit for tat. He was barking at us last inning.
Yeah, it's just emotions running high in a winner-take-all game. Beverland a little heated. After the out in the 7th inning, it's Meehan. They got into it going back and forth, and then Carinci with a bunt. He was trying to give himself up. The error by his Beverland just completely overthrew the first baseman, Joe Burke. And Ryan Tipper's running high, but those 3 errors are going to be something that the Suns are going to look back on and say, if we didn't make those mistakes, it might be a different ball game.
And the home plate umpire just looked at the Winter Park dugout and said, hey, there's enthusiasm, but you guys need to cool it a little bit.
Yeah, good job there by the umpire, not escalating things. Good job by him just going over the Dogs' dugout. Of course, they're excited. They can feel what is on the verge of happening if they can close it out. And a big at-bat here, though. If you're DeLand, you don't want this to snowball into anything else. Runners second and third with Gerardo Miranda at the plate. Miranda had a big hit. They're going to intentionally walk Miranda, and that's going to bring up the man who really might have saved this game for Winter Park, Jason Foytno.
And this is a spot, not this is a spot, but this is a part that if this wasn't Game 3 of the championship, I think somebody would be wearing a fastball from one team or the other.
You're exactly
and
right.
This game would percolate into something that we don't want to see. No one's going to do that in such a high-leverage situation in the bottom of the 8th inning. But if this was in June, in the 3rd inning, someone's probably wearing one.
Yeah, if we had another day on the schedule to play, you're exactly right. Foyno will step in, though, as the first one's low, 1-0. Bases juiced here for the West Georgia Wolf, and a big at-bat trying to put the nail in the coffin of the Suns. Line drive center field. Ranging back is Dixon. He had to go back, and so he's going to have to throw to third. Carinci is going to be in there with a slide, and that is a beautiful sacrifice fly. LaMarche scores in a big 4th run of the ball game for the Dogs.
And that was one that Tim Dixon started in, because off the bat, that looked like it was going to dive into shallower center field, but then he had to backpedal, and when he started backpedaling, that's when there was really no chance to throw out LaMarche at the plate. It's a good sacrifice fly by Jason Foytno to drive in a run, and now Reedy with a chance to probably put this game fully away.
4-0, 2 gone. Luke Reedy, arguably the Dogs' MVP all season long. You can make a case between him and Cabrera on the offensive side of things. As he watches a first pitch strike in there, 0-1. Runners at the corners, it's Carinci at third and Gerardo Miranda at first. Miranda takes off, and that one's fouled as Reedy just missed the off speed on their 0-2 now as Beverland has him where he wants him, 0-2. 4 runs, 6 hits, 1 error for the Dogs. And no runs, 4 hits, 3 errors for DeLand. Bottom of the 8th inning, 2 gone. Dogs have already pushed 1 across. Let's see if Miranda goes again. He is. There's the 0-2. Bounces up to the plate. There'll be no play, and they're going to say he swung and went around as Reedy will head back to the dugout. But the Dogs now stand 3 outs away from their first Florida League title since 2014. And who else? The guy with 10 saves on the season. It'll be number 11, Brian Carullo, when we come back. The top of the 9th inning, and 3 outs remain between the Dogs and the quest for greatness. They're looking for their first Florida League title since 2014. They're going to put it on the shoulders of Brian Carullo, who has been dominant all season long. As Mark Townsend will step to the plate, the Suns' best hitter and gets the best reliever in the league. As that's an off speed. Checks inside. It is 1-1 now to Mark Townsend. Carrillo fires another one, working quickly. That's off. 1-2. The heart of the lineup for the Suns here. This is exactly what you want if you're DeLand, trailing by 4. You got to start with something right here. It's going to be Townsend, Burke, and Hutzel. Just the meat of this Suns lineup due up in the 9th. Ground ball right side, foul. Winter Park got their runs, one in the second, one in the third, and then one apiece in the 7th and 8th inning. And that's where we stand, 4-0. Kicks and fires, they miss inside, 2-2. Crew out of Kissimmee High School in Kissimmee, Florida. High school teammates with Victor Gotay and Luis Cabrera. It was Gotay that got him here as that one skips to the plate, 3-2. Suns fans in attendance trying to rile their crowd up for one last rally. Ground ball right side over towards the Dawgs dugout. And you wouldn't have it any other way with a full count, 3-2. Townsend 0 for 3 tonight. Arguably the league's MVP. Personally, for me, you'd have to find a good case to not vote for him. His ground ball up the middle, base hit. And you knew the Suns weren't going to go down easy as Townsend leads it off with an single.
And if that's it for Mark Townsend, that's how it deserves to end for Mark Townsend. The best player in the Florida League ends with a single. He ends with a base hit, and now it's Joe Burke. If he can get a base hit here, not only does that bring you one batter away from having the tying run, it also ties the Florida League record for hits in a single playoffs.
Yeah, a lot at stake here for DeLand. Townsend stands at first. Joe Burke at the plate. Like Ryan said, he's been so good this entire postseason. Can the slugging first baseman come through one more time for DeLand? Runner on first, nobody out. Carrillo takes a step off. Will regather his thoughts, and Carrillo struggled against DeLand. The only time we really saw him struggle was in that July 4th matchup. He walked a couple and gave up his first earned run in about a month as he gets a first pitch strike to Joe Burke, 0-1. Checks the runner at first, and they're going to go with another one. This is low and away, 1-1.
And this is the problem Carrillo had on the 4th against the Suns when he struggled, is the breaking stuff the Suns didn't swing at and were kept missing the zone.
You see right there, they go back with a slider that's 69 miles an hour. It's a frisbee slider. Fools a lot of hitters, but Burke is a very good hitter. He's not biting on it.
The approach seems to be sit fastball.
They go with a fastball, and it's low and away, 3-1. And so some nervous milling around in the Dawgs dugout now as they see their almost nearly unhittable closer struggling here. When Ryan pointed out, a non-save situation for Carrillo. As he swings and misses at the 85-mile-per-hour fastball, it's full now, 3-2.
And sometimes that goofs with the psyche of a closer when it's not that save situation. You see it sometimes with those high-level closers when it's not a quote-unquote save situation. Their stuff isn't as sharp because that killer instinct isn't there when it's not a one-run ball game.
And he misses outside, and Joe Burke earns a walk. He'll take a stare into the Dawgs dugout, and tension's high here as the tying run will be in the on-deck circle, but it'll be Peter Hutzel that will take the plate as Jim Newland will come out and talk to his pitcher.
And this is a situation where you just kind of look Carrillo in the eyes and say, dude, you're not coming out of this game. No one's behind you. No one's bailing you out. You are the reason we are here. You look at Carrillo's saves, and it's not a lot of, 6-3, 7-4. It's a lot of 2-1, 3-2, 4-3. It's a lot of games where one mistake would have gotten you beat. He hasn't made those mistakes this year. I don't know if he's blown a save this year. I don't think he has. So you look at him and say, listen, you've got the stuff. Hutzel and Alonso are dangerous. Don't make the mistake to him. But if you throw what you can throw, we're going to get the next three guys out, and we're going to go dog pile.
Winter Park will go with their best. They're going to live and die by their best pitcher as Newland concludes the meeting on the mound, and it'll be Carrillo versus Hutzel. First and second, nobody out. The Suns threatening here in the top of the ninth inning with the Dawgs leading at 4-0. First pitch is low and inside with the fastball, 1-0.
And now you start asking the question if you're Winter Park, as much as I just said what I just said, do you get somebody up in the bullpen if you believe that he doesn't have it today?
That option might be number 17, James Holly, as it looks like I might have seen him grab his glove. He might head down to the bullpen. As it's now 1-1. Jack Matera will throw on a mask and get ready to warm up the righty from Rollins. As Hutzel flails at that slider, 72 mile per hour, he came up empty. This be big right here if Carrillo could get this punch out. get some confidence here in the ninth, 1-2.
And behind him it is Joe Burke, or I should say is Alan Alonso.
That's a tapper right back to the mound. Carrillo's going to go to second. Carinci for one. To first brings Beaker off the bag. Runners at the corners. They do get the runner out at second. That'll leave the tying run in the on-deck circle. But now Alan Alonso, you still have the double play in depth as Alonso strides to the plate with one gone.
So Alonso followed by Hilton. It's Hilton right now that represents the game-tying run. If you're Alan Alonso, you essentially have one objective in this bat. Stay out of the middle of the diamond. Do not hit into a season-ending double play. See if you've can find the outfield to drive in Townsend and bring the tying run to the plate in Brandon Hilton.
That one is right down the middle for Carrillo. One gone, runners at the corners. Winter Park leads it 4-0. There's the off speed, 0-2. We'll see if Carrillo can find that rhythm that he's been good so far this season. Holly is warming in the bullpen, but right now, like Ryan said, it's Carrillo's game. Waves and misses, 3 pitches, and Alonso will head back to the bench. And the fate of the Suns rest in the hands of Brandon Hilton.
And he has been overmatched in these playoffs. He's been 1 for 17 with 10 strikeouts. But the Suns look at him and go, you know what? This is a guy that can run into one. If he can get that fastball from Carrillo over the plate, he can drive it and keep the season alive.
Runners at the corners. The defense will shift over. First pitch is swung on and miss. Carrillo pumps that one in there. Fastball on the outer edge and catches. Hutzel, as Hilton swings anyways. Hutzel at third. And runner at first. They go outside and miss, 1-1. Winter Park 1 out away from a championship that has eluded them, trying to get revenge on the Suns from last season. Here's the 1-1, swung on and missed again. Cabrera thought about it, but wisely holds the ball back. That'll take the force out away, but now the Dawgs just 1 strike away from a championship. Runners second and third. A ball and 2 strikes, 2 outs. Dawgs lead it 4-0. Carrillo comes, set, and fires. Strike 3 call to the inside corner, and the Dawgs have done it for the first time since 2014. Your Winter Park Diamond Dogs are Florida League champions. Ryan, it was an amazing performance. This series deserved 3 games, and I believe the people who paid got all they could handle as the Dawgs just a little too much. That pitching depth that we talked about yesterday, it worked out for Winter Park in the end. And once again, best 2 teams in the league, and you wouldn't have it any other way.
There's the best 2 teams in the Florida League, and the best team in the Florida League won the championship. It's the team that went wire to wire as the top team in the league, set a league record for wins, or tied it at the very least with 30. And these are the best 2 teams, and Winter Park just had a little bit more pitching. The Suns scored, 1 in the first game, 3 and none. They scored 4 runs in 3 games, and unless you've got 3 carbon copies of Jesus Valoy on the mound, that's not going to be enough to win a championship. You give all the credit in the world to the Suns pitching staff tonight, as they did exactly what you wanted them to do. 2 earned runs in 4 innings. 9 nights out of 10, that's going to be enough to win. But the 10th night is the one where he only managed 5 hits. 2 of them come from Joe Burke. Mark Townsend gets 1, and McNamara gets the other 2. The bottom half of the lineup did not produce tonight for the Suns, and that's why Winter Park are the Florida League champions.
Jack Walgass was just too much. 6 innings of work, 9 strikeouts for the right-hander. That'll definitely be lighting up the radar gun and performing very well for Southeastern this upcoming season. Victor Gauthier comes in and pitches 2 scoreless innings of relief. And then his high school teammate, Brian Carrillo, he made things interesting, but he gets the punch out and proves, Ryan, I believe that he might be the reliever of the year coming up in the biggest moments.
There's no doubt about it that Brian Carrillo is the reliever of the year. This is a scenario that the way the Florida League does the awards, the Cy Young is given to a starter. This is one of those scenarios, especially given starting pitching wasn't great this summer in the Florida League, and the guys that, in my opinion, are 1 and 2, Wolgast and Perrette, only threw about 50 innings between the 2 of them. This is a case where if the Cy Young was the #1 pitcher in the league, it would have been Brian Carrillo. He would have been the overall Cy Young. He's the only slam dunk candidate for an award. You can argue Cy Young, and you can argue MVP. You can't argue Brian Carrillo as the reliever of the year.
Brian Carrillo with a great performance, and hats off to the DeLand Suns. These teams 1-2 all season long, and I'd like to thank my broadcast partner Ryan Murphy as well. It's been an amazing summer. I know he's going to be back next season, and it's going to be fun. We'll see what things have to hold, but just a great season all along. I'd appreciate allowing me to be along for it. As the Winter Park Diamond Dogs will win this one 4-0. For everyone here, we appreciate you listening in all season longs as the Dogs are your 2019 Florida League champions.